Welcome to Grad Life Grind. If you're new to this channel, thank you for checking it out. And if you're already a subscriber, thanks for being back again. My name is Ariel and I'm a PhD student in clinical psychology. And in this channel, I bring you information about the mental health field and talk about my journey as a PhD student. Today I'm going to be talking about how I get organized for a new semester. It's the beginning of September and the fall quarter is about to start. I know that many people I've been seeing on my Instagram account have already started their academic year. Mine's coming up soon, so I'm getting myself together for a new semester, a new academic year. September is my favorite time of year because it's my birthday, I'm a Virgo, and also because it feels like New Year's for me. It's a new year of life, it's a new academic year, and I love school. So I love spending time in September getting myself together for what's to come, getting my goals together, figuring out how can I make sure that I accomplish the goals that I set at the beginning of the year since it's the last quarter, and also figuring out how I can start off strong for a new academic year. So it's sort of a beginning and an end in its own way. But yeah, so I'm going to go over some of the ways that I get and stay organized as best as I can. I'm not perfect, but these are the things that I do. So the first thing I do is I start with my planner. I've shared my planner so many times on my story. It's the Push Journal. I have a discount code. There's a link in my bio, but this is what it looks like. And it works on a 90-day system, so it works out perfectly that it's September because I have some goals that I want to hit by the end of the year over the next 90 days. So the first few pages of the journal kind of map out your goals for the next 90 days. So regardless of what kind of planner you use, if you use digital or paper, or whether you use the journal I have or your own, doesn't matter. But I start with my planner, getting together like for the next month. But so this is my monthly view. The thing about the Push Journal is that it's only 30 days, so I also use Google Calendar like it's my life. Like Google Calendar runs my life. If I woke up tomorrow and Google was down, which would never happen, I'd be done. Like I wouldn't know where to go, I wouldn't know what to do. So in order for me to look ahead, I use Google Calendar for basically everything, and then I have a written planner just because I really need to write to remember things as well. So the first thing I do is kind of set out my month on my planner, and then also on Google Calendar. I'll show you what my Google Calendar looks like in a minute. The other thing that I do to get started for a new semester or new academic year is I print my syllabi. I'll go through and like highlight important dates, and then I'll manually go into my Google Calendar and add all the class times. So I have a class that's going to be on Fridays from 1 to 4, so I'll put that in there. And then I'll also put all the all the assignments and important dates up on my Google Calendar. The other thing that I do, and I tell this to all first year students or all students who ask me for organization or time management tips, is I don't just schedule when the class is and when the homework is due or when the tests are. I also block out the same number of hours in the week to dedicate to that class. So for example, if a course is going to be 4 hours per week and you're going to be in class from 12 to 4 p.m., 4 hours, I also will block 4 hours somewhere else in my week to dedicate to that course, and I am super color coded in my stuff, so I'll just have it as the same color. So the way that looks, don't be like scared of my Google Calendar. Let me see if I can okay, so I think you can see this. So I have a class on Fridays from 1 to 4 and it's orange. And so I've decided to block out another 4 hours. Actually, I think it's 3 hours, whatever. I've decided to block another same number of hours over here for the first week of classes. And then I'm also going to be TAing a course. So that class is, I think, 4 or 5 hours. So I blocked another 5 hours to dedicate to my grading and other things that I have to do. So when people are like, how do you make sure that you have time to do everything? This is how I do it. If for 1 week this course only gives me an hour worth of work, that's fine. It's still blocked as 3 hours in my calendar. So if I don't use the full time, then I'll do something else. But that's one way to kind of, just like a rule of thumb that I use. If the course is X amount of hours, I'm going to block X amount of hours. And sometimes you have to adjust that. Sometimes there's a lot of reading and you're going to need more than that, and you can go ahead. Your syllabi should say how many hours you should expect to dedicate to the course, but I typically just double it. Because my syllabi aren't available, I just took an old one. So this is like, I'll highlight important things, and then I'll literally go through the course outline. And wherever assignments are due, I'll enter that in Google Calendar. But then there's also the readings, which is where the work time is scheduled. So this is where the game changer comes in. It's literally just a sheet, and it has, the lines are a little bit like different for what it's for, and then for the tasks, and then you can check them off. So this is a template, but the way that I use this is, there's 10 weeks, there's actually 11 weeks in the quarter at my program. So I printed 10 of them because the last week is like finals week. And I'll just write at the top like fall 2021, week 1, week 2, blah, blah, blah. So I already did that. And then the way that I use this is, this came in serious handy in my first year of the program because I was taking like 6-7 classes. So I would put like, I don't know what courses I was taking, cognitive psychology, research methods, child development, blah, 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 each course name in the like heading, and then what tasks I have for the week. So read chapter 1, read chapter 2, take a quiz, you know, do a summary. So that's how I see it accountable week by week. It's really up to you if you want to also put that in Google Calendar. For me, it was easier to just say like, okay, I know that every Tuesday is when I sit down and do the reading and the homework for my research methods course. So on Tuesday, I'll look at my weekly sheet and be like, oh, I'm supposed to be doing this. So I will usually take the syllabus and fill out these sheets. So they tell you in the course outline, like, okay, week 1, it says overview of major theories of development, readings. There's nothing. And then week 2, prenatal development and infancy, and then it'll tell you the readings, chapters 10, 12, 1. This is grad school reading. For one book, chapters 10, 11, and 12. For another book, chapters 1, 2, and 5. And then 2 scientific articles in 1 week. So I would normally go through the week outline and put it on my own. The reason why I do this is because then it's all in one place, all my courses in one place, as opposed to looking at this at 3 or 4 or 5 different syllabi every single week to figure out what's due. That's crazy. To replace this, you could just put it in your Google Calendar, right? And say like, oh, reading like chapter 1, chapter 2, whatever, and block out the time that you're actually going to get that done. This is just what helps me. I like to write. I like to handwrite stuff. So if things do change during the semester, sometimes your professors are like, oh, the assignment is extended. Oh, we didn't get to such and such section, so don't worry about such and such reading. No problem. Instead of doing all of these sheets for week 1 through 10, I'll usually do like the first 2 or 3 before school starts when I get the syllabus. And then every like Sunday, I'll sit down and do my task list. Once I get the syllabi for the courses that I'm going to be taking and teaching this quarter, I'm going to take substance abuse, so that's going to be here. I'm going to be TAing research methods, so that'll be here. And the tasks will be like, read chapter whatever, grade assignment 1, blah, blah, blah. And then I also have dissertation, I have work, I have grad life grind stuff. Like I have different roles that I have as a grad student: research, work, student, TA. So this is what helps me kind of stay organized. So once a week I'll sit down on Sunday or Monday and map out this. And then on my Google Calendar, I have the time blocked out where I'm going to dedicate to each thing. So I usually color code this. I have an old one. So I had things to do for my lab, things to do for dissertation. What does this even say? I was applying for conferences and grants and funding, scholarships and stuff. So I had the task for that. I was working on a work study thing, my work study job. That was this. This is my other work study job here. And then I had like other stuff. I also will sometimes put like personal stuff on here. So the way it'll probably look for the fall quarter is going to be did I already say this? I think I did. Substance use is the class I'm taking. I'm going to be TAing research methods. I'm going to be working on dissertation. I also am a research assistant. I'm going to have work study stuff like I work in admissions. I'm also now president of my school's Latino student organization, so that'll be there. And then over here I might put like personal, so it's like check the mail, pay your bills, my car registration was just due, so things like that. These things help me like run my life. Yeah, so that's kind of how I use the task sheets. And like I said, because my syllabi are not available yet, I haven't figured this out. For my dissertation, I'm planning to make kind of like my own syllabus of what I'll deliver to my advisor on a bi-weekly basis, because we're going to be having bi-weekly meetings. So yeah, so basically once I have my actual syllabi, the one for the class that I'm TAing, the one that I'm taking, once I create my own kind of mini timeline for my dissertation tasks this quarter, then I'll be able to kind of fill this out a bit more. This is what my calendar looks like when everything is on it, and it looks crazy to other people. And every like once in a while when there's like a break, I just like delete everything, like even my morning routine, and it's just like empty and it's like ah. But the majority of the time I have everything. So like my day will start with a workout, with getting ready, with my morning routine, with breakfast, and then if I have to commute, I put that in there. If I have like meetings or appointments, I put that in there. It might seem like a lot for other people because you're like, okay, I know that I have this meeting, I can plan accordingly in my head. This just clears my mental space. Like there's already so much stuff that I have here that there's absolutely no reason for me to just like clutter my mind with the meetings that I have when I could just write it here or on my planner. So if you're somebody who's like, how do I even begin to get organized? One thing at a time. Like now that I have this system in place between Google Calendar, my task sheets, and my planner, now I'm starting to add other things like focus apps. I'm experimenting with a habit tracker that I have on my fridge, like things that I want to make sure I do every day. I'm experimenting with a chore chart. Like I've seen that people, like parents, will put a chore chart on the fridge for their kids and it's like different colors and stuff. Adulting is friggin' hard. Like keeping track of having your own place and having a car and having, you know, bills, all this stuff is a lot to keep track of. There's absolutely no shame in having reminders and like helping keep yourself accountable. These systems are just to help me be more on autopilot, because if I have to hold it all in my mind, it's just too overwhelming. Like there's so much already. I think that when you can write things down or have checklists, it can ease your mind a little bit. And so that's why I create checklists for everything, or if I have big projects, I'll break it down into small tasks. So for my dissertation, like I'm doing a dissertation series about my process on YouTube, but I have a spreadsheet and I'm breaking down like by quarter what my dissertation tasks are. And they're small, they're like 10-minute tasks. Okay, find articles on this topic, find articles on that topic, print articles, create a folder on this, you know, whatever, like start your outline, email this person, reach out to that person. Really small tasks. It just having a list and being able to check things off really, really, really helps me. I think that I started doing that in high school, so it's what helped me be really efficient. I think that if I do say so myself, I get a lot done and I do a lot of things. Aside from small steps, like I wouldn't call my schedule strict. I would just call it structured. There are a lot of times where I block in my calendar to do this or that thing and I don't. And then I give myself the grace to say like, okay, I didn't get to it today and I'll try again tomorrow, and I'll drag it in my Google Calendar to next week, or I'll drag it to the next day. There are things today that I didn't get done earlier this morning and I drag them to tomorrow. Like it's okay. It's just having the system in place, like having the structure can be helpful for those who find it helpful, right? So it's not for everybody. So I would give kind of a caution that if you're wanting to get more organized and you're wanting to add some more structure to your life, that you do it with grace and that you do it aware of the fact that it can be overdone. Like there is such a thing as being overscheduled, overbooked, and like that's that's not the goal. So when I like, my page is called Grad Life Grind. The grind is not grind all the time, work all the time. The grind, the real grind, is figuring out how to work and also maintain balance. That's what's a grind for me, because I am much more likely to fall into like overworking or doing nothing. What's really challenging is finding a balance between the two. And as overscheduled as my calendar looks, not all those things are work. So literally, I think last week or the week before, I blocked an hour in the middle of the day from 2 to 3 p.m. to garden outside on my balcony. Your calendar is not going to turn you into a machine. You're still a person. I'm just going to recap what I do and how. Ooh, I missed one thing since I'm recapping. So I'll share it at the end. So usually the way that I get organized for a new semester is by printing the syllabi, getting my planner together, mapping out, you know, my goals for that quarter. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but my program's on a quarter system. Whether you're on quarter or semester system, I try to set goals like, what do I want to achieve this semester, this quarter? And that's not just for school. Like, I have academic goals, but I also have life goals. So I have goals for the next 90 days just for me as a person, and they're mixed. Some are personal and some are school related, some are Grad Life Grind related, etc. So planner, printing syllabi, and getting my goals together at the beginning of the school year or semester. Then once I print the syllabi, I go through and highlight the important things, and I'll add them to my Google Calendar. I also will print my task sheets and start to fill them out based on the different roles and classes and responsibilities that I have in my life. I do not go all the way to week 10 at week 0 because things change and that doesn't make sense. And then the other thing that I do is, that I didn't mention earlier, is that I make folders on my laptop and on Google Drive for each thing. So I'll have I have my work study job, therapy resources, because your girl is a therapist in training. Substance abuse is the class I'm going to take. Research methods is the class I'm going to be TAing this quarter. Grad Life Grind folder. I also have a folder for per year in my program, so I have a year 1, year 2, blah blah blah, so that at the end of each quarter I'll grab all the classes that I took and I'll put it in there. I have a dissertation folder. I have a to read folder. Don't just mind your business about that. I have a personal folder. I have a manuscript folder that I've been meaning to prepare forever. Other things. So I create these folders at the beginning of the semester, and at the end of the semester, maybe I'll do another live when that happens. I'll usually take all of the folders and put them into one for the quarters. So I have fall 2019 quarter 1, winter 2020 quarter 2, quarter 3, and in there is where I drop all the classes I was taking. So in winter 2020, I was taking 5 classes. So yeah, so I do the folders. I also put them on my desktop because sometimes I download things to my desktop and I don't have time or feel like putting it to Google Drive. I just do both, and then at the end of the quarter, I'll drag everything that was on my desktop onto Google Drive, delete it from my computer. Yeah, so those are all the things that I do to get myself together for a new semester, especially in September when there's a new academic year coming. It's my favorite time of year. Don't forget that these task sheets are going to be available for free download in the link in my bio today. So if you watch this live to the end, I love you. Thank you so much. It was really fun actually to walk through what I do, and it honestly has so many parts, the ways that I stay organized for a new semester and a new academic year. I do a lot of things to try and stay organized, and nevertheless I end up missing things, forgetting things, not getting to everything because I'm a human. But I hope that in some ways this live was helpful to you, and I hope that I will see you checking back on another live soon. Thank you.